So we'll continue with the next one. The 9604, this is the big brother of the 9504, communications, 3G, Wi-Fi. You have an Ethernet port that you can see there. You have a hard drive up to 1 terabyte. There are alarm inputs and outputs on these devices. They can control PTZs via RJ communication RS-485 protocol, Pelco D, Pelco P on there. So these devices are basically like you would have a standalone DVR, but in a mobile footprint, and with the communications on there, which makes them very adequate for very different vertical markets on there. Have USB ports for your local backups. Next one we're looking at is the 9608. The 9608 is the really big brother of the 9604. This unit right here is more rugged, and it has up to eight channels of video coming in on there. Again, it will hold a hard drive up to 1 terabyte, communications, and Ethernet ports. Basically, this one has 2 Ethernet ports, one in the back, one in the front. Has video in, video outs for local monitoring on that. And again, all of these devices come with the CMS software and the playback software. Here we have a comparison chart of the different devices. We have the Lite series, which are basically all they do is record, and they can have the GPS information recorded on the video. Then we have the Professional, which one is the 32 gig recording on an SD card. The other one is a hard drive recording up to 1 terabyte. And the Enterprise is the 8-channel device with 8 channels of input of video and up to 1 terabyte of hard drive recording. This is showing you right here basically what's included and some of the capacities and capabilities of the whole system. Everything, the unit is compatible with Google Maps and Map Info. With one software, and the software is free, you can control up to 200 channels of video. Now, you won't see 200 channels at one time, but you will be able to manage up to 200 channels. Basically, that's 50 devices at 4 channels each on there. You can view the live video from the CMS and the server software that comes with it. You have two-way communication, alarm management, live positioning of the mobile unit. That's only if you have the GPS and the 3G communication. And a complete forensic analysis playback software, which will show you direction, speed, if there were any alarms, temperature of the devices, and we'll see that on the playback software section. Real quick, before we get into the actual software, this is the interface, the GUI of the CMS software right here. Very quick look at it. We can see on the left-hand side all the units that are registered on the server. The units that are in green, that indicates that the unit is active and transmitting. The units that are in gray are units that are registered in the server but are not active at that moment in time. If we look down underneath that column, we can see the device information. In there, that's a lot of information that you program, plus also where it's transmitting, the time that it's getting from the satellite, the longitude, latitude, the direction of travel, the speed of travel, and the temperature of the unit. The unit has an internal thermometer, and it will indicate as far as the temperature. Underneath that section, we see a PTZ. That's in the event that you do have an RS-485 connection to a speed dome. you can control it from the CMS, whether the unit is in a mobile application or fixed application. Next to that area, we're looking at any events or anything that's happening at the unit. If you're opening up any videos, if any alarms came in, anything that may be indicating or an event or function that the unit is doing. This area right here is our main video window, and right there we will see the live video being transmitted. We can see up to 16 channels at one time, or 16 cameras at one time. It doesn't have to be all the cameras from each unit, or basically 4 units at one time. We could pick one camera from each unit and have 16 units showing at one time on the screen. In this view, we're just looking at the map view, and right here, this view is used as in the event that you have an alarm set up in the unit, the video will pop up, okay, in the alarm event and automatically record locally onto the unit or the computer that is viewing the units at that time. So let's say, for example, you have a contact sensor on one of the units on a back door, and every time that back door opens, you want to be notified. So the back door opens, the unit will transmit an alarm event, and if you're in the GPS viewing or in the map viewing screen, pop-up window of the video will come on and automatically record locally that event. So you're not missing anything. What you're doing by having this unit here for your clients is that you're not using up that bandwidth, that data that the provider gives you, because you're not transmitting video. Video is the one that consumes the most amount of data. With this way, you're using the consumption, you're controlling the consumption to a bare minimum. Basically, the unit's transmitting its GPS positioning, so you're having a visual tracking of the units. And when it transmits its location, it's basically just transmitting longitude and latitude. Then the unit will calculate its positioning with Google Maps and let you know where the unit is visually on the map. But your transmission of data is held down to a bare minimum with this type of operation. And we also have the unit where you can see the live video and the GPS coordinates simultaneously on the same screen. So you can actually see where the unit is on the map side, and you have 3 views. You have map, satellite, and hybrid view. And you also have the video that you can see, the streaming video at that moment in time. Different applications. We have the banking industry, public transportation, police departments, train systems, freight industry, couriers in the boats, fire departments, emergency departments, oils, school transportation. So there's many different applications. Some of them that we see on here are mobile applications. Some of them, like the oil industry, is not mobile. It's a fixed application right there. The cameras that come with the or that you can purchase for the unit are, we can look at different models right here. The ones that are in stock are on the left, and the ones that are on special request are on the right. They're all IP66 or higher rated, and if they so they can withstand humidity, heat, water, different conditions, because these are made basically to be exposed to all the elements. A little information on our different offices throughout the country. Where right now our headquarters are here in Medley, Florida, just right out of Miami. We have office in South America, Mexico, and Brazil. At this moment, I would like to know if there are any questions regarding the presentation. I think this would be the time. As far as any communication problems that you guys may have had, You know, at this point, there's not much that we can do on that. But you guys have any questions, go ahead and put it on the chat. Or if you would prefer, I can open up the mics at this time. Yes, yes, we do have this presentation. What we will do is, like I said, we're recording it at this time, but what we're going to do is put it on the FTP server, and what we can do is we'll have it on there, and that way that you can download the presentation as far as the PowerPoint. Any further questions? Okay, now we're going to move forward so you can actually see the software in operation. Hopefully there will be some units connected on here, and then I will show you what the different softwares are in the server, and this way that you guys have more of an idea. No, the alarms cannot be expanded up to 16. Maximum alarms are 8 on the 8-channel unit. The power source, Stephen is asking, the power source is the battery. There's certain ways. There's a way to connect this. Basically, you have 3 wires. You have a black, which goes to your ground. You have a red that goes to a 12-volt power source that should not be, like, for example, an amplifier, the radio, the cigarette lighter, you know, that type of things that can produce noise on the line. You need a solid, stable 24-volt that's always on power source. And then you have a yellow wire that goes to an ignition. Basically, that goes to a power source that every time your ignition is on, then there's 12 volts on there. Because the unit, you can't program the unit that when the vehicle is off, it will still record even though the switch or ignition is off. That is done because in some places, like for example California, any vehicles that have to be idle, or commercial vehicles that have to be idled for an X number of minutes, have to turn their motors off or the engines off. So you turn the engine off, but you're still recording on that. So that's how the power source is on that. Any further questions? Okay.